All right, well, we won't keep you guys. I know everyone's, taking time out of their evenings. Obviously, you've got probably busy schedules as well with your work and your life, and then also your other life of triathlon. So I'll get started, and Jesse, I'll share my screen to start with. I'll just give a bit of an update on how sort of membership's tracking just for a couple of minutes, and then I'll hand over to Jesse to present on the important topic that we're discussing tonight in the coaching. So for those that don't know who we are, I'm Murray. I'm the head of clubs and membership nationally, but I'm also head of Victoria. And obviously we've got Jesse Mortensen here as well, who's the head of coach development, I think is the official title. And he'll be driving this meeting for most of the night. So I'll just share my screen. Now, Jesse, you want to give me the thumbs up if you can see that, or if it's...
Yeah, yep.
Is it slideshow or not? Or it doesn't matter?
It's not in slideshow mode. It's in everything mode.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Okay, so yes, obviously welcome everyone and thank you for coming this evening. But I would like to obviously start our meeting by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land and where we all meet. And for me, that is the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. And pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. And also acknowledge any Aboriginal First Nations people who might be on the call with us this evening. So just a quick update on the webinar schedule. Not sure if a few of them might have been here previously, but we've done the Just Go membership platform, integrity in December. In February right now, we're doing the coaching update with Jesse. In April, we'll probably look at another insurance club affiliation if your insurance questions aren't answered tonight based on your coaching. And then in June, membership renewal, Oztribe programs, and then we'll look at some other things. We put in there building healthy culture and running event tips, things like that. Could even be like a marketing, like a Marcoms tips and tricks and how to, get the most out of your social media and commercial outcomes, things like that. We might run one of that as well. Real quick update. So at the end of January, our membership numbers are just over 15,000, which this time last year was 14,894. So we're tracking above where we were last year, which is good. We'd like to be on a higher trajectory, but we're still positive because we're going up. So that's great in terms of membership. Just got a graph there just to have a look in your, just showing the percentages per state, and then obviously that line graph as well, just showing how we're tracking as opposed to previous years. But yeah, we look forward to continuing that, seeing that grow. And as Jesse mentioned, with those, Townsville and then Wollongong coming up, hopefully that might help boost our membership numbers as well. And then it's just a little breakdown by package. You can see obviously standards our quite significantly our highest number, 10,000. And then it's all relatively pretty even between social, basic and premium. And then obviously the standard junior as well. So that's enough from me. I'm going to pass straight over to Jesse. We've got all the important topics to discuss tonight. So I'll stop sharing my screen, and Jesse, I'll hand it over to you, mate.
Thanks, Murray. Bear with me while I share my screen for everybody. And for those of you who haven't met me yet, hello. Pleased to meet you. We're not presenting yet. Present.
Good.
Excellent. Okie doke. So as I said, welcome. This is we're going to show you. I'm going to show you how our coach accreditation and affiliation system works tonight, I'll go through a bit of a slideshow for you, and then at the end of it, we're going to have some question and answers. So tonight's about you and it's about our coaches. But before we do that, I'll tell you a little bit about me, so you can tell I don't have two heads. So 30 years involvement in triathlon. If you haven't met me before, I've proudly been the president of a club. So for the people that are running clubs, I have been in your shoes. It's a tough slog, and thank you so much for all of your efforts and all of your contributions. You guys are the backbones of the sport. I've been a race director at TO. I've been a former state lead of South Australia. I've been a coach, and I'm an absolute triathlon tragic. I have more bikes than my wife knows about. So tonight, I'm going to be taking you through a snapshot of coaches around the country, the different levels, and what they all mean, trying to demystify all of the different levels and how they relate to clubs in terms of insurance, in terms of their utilisation for you guys. I'm going to take you through the back end of our system in terms of a thing called credentials. Some of you may know about them, some of you may not. And I'm going to be taking you to, that says safe coaching environments. That should actually say the calendar. And then we're going to have a question and answer. So look, I don't want to tell everybody things they don't already know, but I said it before, you guys are one of the absolute key pillars of our sport. Without clubs, athletes, events, coaches and officials, we don't have a sport. And so thank you to everyone that is on this call tonight. You guys are amazing. For people that are both hats, that are both clubs, club presidents, club leads and coaches, wow, you guys do an amazing job. There's a snapshot of where our coaches are located. We've actually even got some in Alice Springs, so they're not showing up on this map, but we've got coaches all around the country in every state and territory in our country. We'll just let in this person here. So that we've got just under 700 accredited coaches as of the 21st of February 2024. Since 1993, we've put 10,000 people through some form of coach development course. And they come and go through our sport, and we celebrate all of those 10,000 people over that period of time. So we've got 700 right now. Minimum age 16, and we've actually got over 70-year-olds from all across Australia, all lots of diverse backgrounds and experiences, which is just wonderful. That is our gender split. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our levels levels in the next slide, but 58%. 58% is male, 42% female. At our entry level, at our foundation level, it's roughly 50-50. And then as you start to move up into our second to top tier, which is called the performance level, we look at about a 70-30 split male to female. So these are the four levels that we have. We have foundation coach, that is our entry level into coach accreditation. Then we have development, performance, and high performance. To my knowledge, there's been one high performance coach development course in the history of Australian triathlon. We hope to try and develop some more over the coming years. So within these four levels, they all have different purposes. I'm going to show them now on the screen for everybody. So foundation coaches, what do? Well, they do skill development in a group session, in group settings. Development coaches can do skill development and fitness development in either group settings or one-on-one. Performance can do everything that foundation and development do, but with more performance development focus. And high performance, they're focused on our elite and international level athletes. Why am I showing you that? It's important to know that because it's important to know what your workforce can and can't do. So if you have a foundation coach in your club, this is an example of what a foundation coach can do. So foundation coach, as I said, can coach unsupervised in your club, squad or school. They can do group coaching, participation and skill focused. They're not writing programs. and they're not doing one-on-one coaching. I will just pause on that because there was a key word in what I said in the first line: coach unsupervised in your club, squad, or school. So when we first launched the Foundation Coach Training Program in 2018, the program was different. The delivery of the education was different, and therefore their scope of practice was different. So when we first launched this course, those coaches, our foundation coaches, had to coach within the direct supervision and mentor of a high-level coach, such as a development coach. In 2021 and 2022, we upgraded the skill of and the scope of practice of those foundation coaches based on the feedback of all of the clubs and all of the coaches around the country. So they can now coach unsupervised in a group coaching and participation and skills focused. So let's compare that to a development coach. Development coaches can coach in a club, a squad, or an independent environment. So they don't need to necessarily be coaching in a club environment. One-on-one and group. They can also design training programs and manage the training load of their athletes. Participation and skill focus with fitness in there as well. So is that all that matters when we talk about coach accreditation? Not quite. That's one piece of the puzzle. There are two sides to it. There is qualification and then there is accreditation. Qualification is the completion of a coach development course at either foundation, development, performance, or high performance level. That is the education that a person has obtained. Accreditation is all of the things you see on this screen here. So for a coach to be accredited, they have to have a core membership and they have to have a coach add-on membership as well. And to be eligible for that add-on membership, they need to have senior first aid, a CPR, which is updated annually, and the Working with Children's check for the area that they are working in. For example, I reside in South Australia. I need a South Australian Working with Children's check. I don't need a Queensland one. Although I do if I spend more than 10 days there. We're not going to crack that egg tonight, though. So, add-on memberships. There are two. There is a volunteer add-on coach package, and there is a professional coach add-on package. They are not the same thing. One of those attaches to the insurance of the club, and one of those attaches to the insurance that is personalized for that coach. And it is so the professional development coach add-on membership, when a coach purchases the professional coach add-on membership, they will receive their own personalized named certificate of currency. A volunteer coach will not. So if one of your coaches within your club has taken out the volunteer coach add-on package, that means that they are coaching under the Australian Triathlon accredited club's insurance policy. If they are professional, they have their own, it is not part of the club. So what does that mean? In a practical sense, it means that if there is a volunteer coach in your club, they are insured by your club, which means you should be aware of what they are doing, because that forms a part of your club's core business. So if a club is operating in a volunteer capacity without your knowledge, they're being insured by the club. You need to be aware of that. So the membership add-ons are on our website. And they're the two: volunteer coach and professional coach. Now, I mentioned before, way back here, about all of the areas needed to be an active coach. So we've covered off on our coach add-on membership, but now I'm going to talk about senior first aid, CPR, and working with children. So they are the 3 credentials required to take out your add-on membership. How do you know? How does a club administrator know if a person has those? So I've got my profile up here. You can see these. You can see 2 green dots. You can see a green dot for a club membership, and you can see a green dot for a coach professional membership. I'm just going to show you that in wider terms. So I have a green dot and a green dot. So my coach professional membership is active, which means my credentials are active. My CPR, my working with children, and my first aid is up to date. Now, you as club administrators can go in and check that. And so what I did earlier today was I manually turned mine off for the purposes of this slideshow. And so when you go in, if you were to go in and check one of your coaches and they had an expired credential, you can see here mine in the top right-hand corner. I've manually said that my working with children check is expired so that you guys can see that. And so that's what that looks like. And you'll see it's in yellow. The contrast is extremely bad, so I apologise, you may not be able to see that. But below my expired working with children's check, you'll then see in yellow, my coach development now says inactive pending conditions. So that means my coach accreditation is no longer active because one of my prerequisites, which was a working with children check, has expired. And this is just to show you I turned it back on, so it's okay. I'm not in breach of any child safe or national integrity framework. So, in summary, this is the requirements to be an accredited coach. So a person needs to have a core membership. They need to have a coach add-on membership. They need to have senior first aid, CPR, and working with children. Now, one of the questions that we get asked a lot is why isn't it an add-on? Why? And if you'll notice here that I've written standard or premium membership. The way that our Go membership membership database and membership software works, we can't have our coach membership as a core package. It has to be an add-on. And so we understand that the professional coach membership is supposed to cost circa $400, and the only way that you can achieve that is by taking out the standard membership and then a professional coach add-on package. If you were to take out a social membership and a professional license, you would not be paying sufficient, and so we've blocked that. So if a coach tries to take out a social core membership and a professional coach add-on, it will say the purchasing rules don't apply. Is this a perfect system? No, it's not. We understand that, and we're going to continue to work on that. We've got continual improvement commitments. But for now, for everyone on the call, it's important that you understand the intent of why we have the coach add-on packages the way we do. As you will all have known, we are currently going through a new website. And so we have some areas of our website that are built new, and then we have some areas of our website that are operating on the archive website. The coach development unit is on the next build of the website, and so that will be coming in the next month and a half. And so all of the information about courses, enrollments, they currently sit on our archive website. And so we tend to get a lot of questions at the moment from people going, I can't find where to enroll in a course. And that's because they're sitting on our archive website. So we understand that a lot of people have got confusion, and we're working on that. So we've got courses around the country at the moment in our foundation and our development. We've just done a course in Darwin on the weekend, which was fantastic. We've got South Australia coming up very soon. and then as we progress around the country. We've also got a round of development coach courses, which will be going on later in the year. We've been doing a lot of work on our development coach course in the background to try and improve our courses, and we will be meeting with our course facilitators in the next month to upskill our facilitators in that. So we're very excited about what's going on in our foundation and development coach courses over the year. We're also running the first performance coach course since 2019 in May this year. So we have 25 people attending that. That was our course cap. So that is going, and we have people from every state and territory except for the Northern Territory attending that. So we're very excited by that. So I didn't want to bore you all tonight. I wanted to give you a snapshot of our coach development program, and then I really wanted to hear from you guys. What are your questions? What are your queries? What are your scenarios? And then my job here is to give you the information that you need. So we've gone over a snapshot of the coaches around the country, what the different levels mean. So we'll just summarize that again: foundation, development, performance, and high performance. Your foundation coach and your development coaches typically would be the backbone of your clubs. If you've got performance coaches in your club, that is a gift. You can use them. Our foundation coaches are for group-based skill development. Our development coaches can be for group or one-on-one. They can be skill development and fitness. They can do training program design and load management and performance, and then high performance further up. I've talked about different types of coach insurance. And so remember, volunteer coaches are insured by your club. Performance and professional coaches have their own individual insurance. I've talked about credentials and how to check them. And I've given you, again, sorry, that says safe coaching environments. I've given you a snapshot of our calendar, which can be seen on our archive site. And over the coming month, you will see coaching in its new form on our new website. I'd love to hear from you guys now. So I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to hear how you think or how you would like to know how your coaches can best interact with your clubs. So please fire any questions away that you have.
Hi, this is Sarah. I'll ask one quick one. I'm a development coach and also work voluntarily for our local club. Does it matter? So my insurance essentially falls under my own, or like, does it actually really matter, or it just means we're kind of covered in both directions?
Could you be more specific? Sorry. So you.
So I'm a development coach, so I run my own private coaching business.
Yes.
But volunteer coach for our local club. And just wondering, like, from insurance purpose, does it?
So you taking out the pro coach license or the volunteer coach license?
No, I've got a professional license.
You're double insured.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. I just didn't know whether,
So Sarah, you're insured through your coaching business, and they're effectively engaging you in a turnkey operation. So you're protected, they're protected, everyone's happy.
Cool.
What it means is that by taking out the pro coach license, that you don't have to run everything by your club. So you can work independently of them, but you can also engage with the club when you need to and want to.
Yep, gotcha. Cheers.
You can also use the chat if you need to write it down.
Hi, Jesse. This is Leighton from Balance Tri Club in New South Wales. It's very clear what you've presented. Thank you. It adds a lot of clarity to my understanding. But one thing that I'm not really clear on is what constitutes a coaching activity within a club? And I'll give you an example. We're going through a process of training up ride leaders so that our rides are much safer and more organised, etc. Are those people considered to be coaches?
No. So group rides are the backbone of our sport. So I'm going to give you the example. Sorry, did I cut you off? Did you have more to the question? Sorry.
No, you've got it. Yep.
Okay, so this is a great question. I'm really glad it's asked. So I really want to I want everyone to think about coached and non-coached. So I'll use the example of MacArthur Tri Club has got a group run on Tuesday mornings at 6 a.m. that meets at the post office, and they run 5 kilometres as a group. That is an uncoached group session. There is no need for a coach there. Should the club have designated a leader that has a mobile phone and therefore access to emergency ambulance if something happens? Yeah, absolutely, sure. And they should do their due diligence around pick a safe route that's got decent lighting and has good emergency access. And so they've chosen that route, they've ordered that route. And the same would go for the ride. But that's not coaching. So a group ride isn't coaching. So a ride captain would do things like pick the route, set the rules, i.e. if you rock up on a TT, you're not getting down in the TT bars, you're staying up on the hoods. They're marshalling at the top of hills for roundbacks, making sure people have got lights, those types of things that are not coaching. So we really need to encourage clubs to say, look, on your website or your Facebook page or something, it's okay to say, look, we have this ride and this run that are not coached. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it goes a long way towards answering it. I mean, maybe if I could just probe a little bit further.
Sure.
At what stage does a ride or run leader become a coach?
Exercise prescription.
What would they start doing? Okay.
So when you have a ride captain calling out interval sets that are calling out, okay, at this point in time, I need everyone working at 70%, that's coaching.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be, that's a conversation I had over the last 24 hours. Coaching doesn't necessarily have to be stroke correction or skill development. It can be exercise prescription, it can be fitness.
Okay, thanks, Jess.
Bill, I've got a hand up as well.
Okay, we do. Triactivate. Sorry, not sure who it is. Just got the club name.
Yep. Sorry. So Nikki from Triactivate. Just in terms of those, what was I asking? Sorry.
If you had a group ride and you've got members and non-members in and there's an accident, do the non-members then make the group riding, or do they nullify the insurance?
It's a really good question, isn't it? Yeah, it's a really interesting one. A non-member turns up to your group ride and takes out the pack. The members would be insured because the members are insured for training. But would our insurer then seek reimbursement off that non-member, and then our insurer is chasing this non-member civilly? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think that's a bit untested. And so my recommendation would be we've got the try before you buy. And I would say if which is free, and if a non-member turns up, you quickly whip them into the try before you buy and cover them off on that. And then also do things like utilise the 8 weeks. So if a person rocks up and says, hey, I'd like to come to a few of these group rides, and you say, oh, let's get you into this, let's set you up with an 8-week membership, something like that. It probably doesn't answer your question fully though, does it?
Yeah, it's just something that like around about 10 years ago when I first did my development coach there was a lot of rules around, you know, club coaches only being able to coach club members.
But
and
the wording is predominantly. So you're covered. So let's go through the tiers here. So if you've got a professional coach membership and you're coaching predominantly Triathlon Australia members, so let's call it 51% just for this discussion's sake. So the coach is covered. The coach is covered for professional indemnity, public liability. The members are covered. The person that stacks it isn't. So they're your sort of year three scenarios. So you'd be okay as a coach.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else we got? CM. Not sure who's CM. Oh, that's Sarah.
That's Sarah again. Sorry, that question just made me think of one. I'm setting up a run group, so not necessarily triathletes. There will be some triathletes, but how would I navigate the insurance side of that? Because there'll be a lot who would not be triathletes or Triathlon Australia members. Because I've got it like a Cycling Australia membership for when I work with our cycling club and sort of cover that side of it. But then do I need to investigate?
So it's setting up an arm of your business that's coaching predominantly outside of the triathlon community. And would our triathlon insurance cover that?
With the idea of
let me take that one back to our insurers.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think if we're okay with that, I'm going to pose that one, and then we'll put it in the next club EDM. Is that okay, Murray? He's nodding. Yep. He's on mute. He's nodding.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Thanks.
Is there any other questions? I can't see if anyone else has got their hands up. Wally, you've got your hands up.
Well, Wally, how you going?
Yeah, good. Oh, it's going well. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Far away.
I mean, it was nearly like the last question, but there are so many scenarios where, just a local riding group might organise a group ride, and some triathletes just jump on it, exactly like the running ones. Are the Darwin Tri Club / TA members insured? Don't care about the others, but are we insured? So the non-members obviously aren't, but we've just jumped on a general ride on a Sunday or Saturday morning, which there are many choices to ride on.
All right, so let's break this down into scenarios. Yeah. So let's say I'm training for Husky. I'm going out on a ride, preparing for Husky, and I tack on to the local bunch ride that's got 60 people in it. Am I covered for that activity? Absolutely. That's part of my training for Husky. So, yeah.
Well, any ride I do is training, isn't it? Because we're training for our local club races. So, any bike ride, basically, I'm training.
Yeah. If a member is preparing for an event, then that's training.
Okay. I'm not quite sure how you prove you're actually training for an event. At the end of the day, I haven't entered Husky, but I can say I'm training for it. Or at the end of the day, there's a race next weekend at the local club, so I'm training for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I haven't entered yet. So
you're in the activities of generally preparing for the sport of triathlon.
Right. No, and there's probably lots of scenarios like that we're just thinking of writing down to give, having a table and writing down and get some answers just to clarify. So
I haven't raced in 5 years.
Okay.
But I'm actively training and I'm actively covered.
Yep, no worries. All right. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Shout them out if you do.
Can I ask another one? This is maybe I'll take it offline. I did the performance coaching course probably back in 2019 when it was on. Might have
Yeah.
even been one before then, but didn't complete it. Is there a way I can potentially still? Or would I
Let's
be
chat.
starting
Let's
from
chat
scratch?
tomorrow. Let's chat
Perfect.
tomorrow.
Thanks. I had children and then it just got put to the wayside.
And then COVID happened, and then the world blew up.
Yeah, exactly.
So, look, I have compassion.
Thanks.
Gary,
I'm gonna ask another one.
come on.
So, if a local Darwin cycling club has a training session on every Thursday, and triathletes wish to turn up and train with them, are we covered individually for the triathletes?
Is it coached?
No, it's not coached. I'll call it a training session that they're riding crit. They're riding together, but it's not a race, but it's a
simulated.
riding.
So it's a simulated crit training.
Yeah, it's just a group of people riding around a track, or a velodrome. Call it a velodrome if you want, but yes. Or yeah.
I'm going to put a pin in that one.
It's very specific, that one.
It is very specific, and I'm going to find out for you.
All right, no worries.
It's not. So, okay, I'm gonna say it probably sits outside of my remit in coaching and falls in a very specific insurance question.
Yeah, it's an insurance question rather than a coach, basically.
Yeah, it's one for the broker.
Right. Okay.
You feel free to ring V Insurance if you want, Gary.
Give us a little while and we'll document all these little scenarios that we're interested in to know if our members are covered or not, and whether to advise them that they're covered or not, obviously. And then it's up. Yeah.
Got it. Mark Fensham.
Right.
Look, just following on from the scenarios. Can you hear me, Jackie, by the way?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. The scenarios you talked about. Yeah, I recently had a non-member who wanted to come along on a ride, to just see how she felt and what she thought. And I said no in the nicest possible way, just for that whole thing of, if she's riding with us, I have no idea what her riding level is, her skill level is, and just who wants to be in the situation where all of our members are covered, she goes and smashes in her face or something like that, and yeah, you have to just go with you're on your own, new member or potential new member. So I did offer the option that you said, and said, look, you can go the 8-week route at a very reasonable cost and join us, or you're welcome to come along to a swim session or something else. But the ride, I just made the decision that the risks are too high, and the potential injuries you can have in the riding scenario are sort of too great for, I think, for me to bear. So that was just the decision I made. But I did give her another option of that 8-week possibility, which is only, what, $20 or something?
And there's the free 2-week trial before you buy as well. So there's isn't that right? Is it, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, Murray? Is it?
Yeah. It's currently $25 the 8-week, and there is the free 2-week trial option.
Yeah, the free 2-weeker.
So if you haven't got that set up with your club or squad, we can help do that as well. Yeah.
I guess I feel like, Jesse, even if like financially you've got no responsibility for that person because they say, look, I'll just take care of myself, you're still going to be dragged into police reports and inquests and inquiries, or like just potentially just suck up a whole pile of your volunteer resources in dealing with that situation.
Okay. All right, that's cool. We'll go Di and then Des, and then Sarah again. Di.
Hi, yeah. Just a question in relation to people visiting from other clubs. So are they covered by our club insurance, or
their member insurance?
If they participate in something that we do?
Their member insurance kicks in.
Okay.
Yeah. Cross-pollination. It's a great thing.
Yeah, no, we often get people from other clubs wanting to come for a couple of sessions or whatever while they're here, and just want to make sure that they are covered if they come, or whether we have to do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, around club champs time, you might want to kind of give them a nudge, but look, I think the cross-pollination is wonderful. It's friendship, it's people being active and healthy, and their members they've covered. More power to it. Yeah.
Another quick question is, we've started doing some sessions with Surf Lifesaving, or we have in the past, some open water swim sessions. So again, does our insurance kick in, or are we, because we're doing it with them, are we covered by their insurance, or is that something that we have to have a conversation about, or
your members your members are covered through their member insurance.
Okay, so, even if they're participating in a Surf Lifesaving joint activity.
If it's a joint activity, a joint partnership activity between the local Surf Lifesaving Club and the local Triathlon Club, then I think it's considered a club activity on both clubs, and therefore both insurance protects their respective members.
Yeah, so no, I've been asked that before from Surf Lifesaving to make sure that our guys are covered, because so I just wanted to ask the question.
Yes.
Yeah, Jesse, just 2 points. There's a lot of talk about the particularly in coached rides or road rides and member or non-member. I have a non-negotiable with that. It's quite simple: no membership, no ride. And that's under a coached ride. If it's a simple group ride, which I'll go out with friends on a weekend, that's not an issue. But if it's a coached ride, no membership, no ride, and that's a non-negotiable with me.
That's very sensible, I think.
Second thing, is there currently, or will there ever be, and I guess you can call it recognition of prior learning, into a coaching course for elite or professional athletes? In what I do, I get asked this a little bit.
i.e., would we recognise a pro and just jam them straight into a development coach course?
Yeah.
On a case-by-case basis, absolutely.
Yep. So they could bypass foundation and go to development under some circumstances. Yep.
We need to assess it on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so and that would be a conversation between myself and the facilitators. So let's say you're running the next dev course in Queensland. That's me and you having a chat, and we make that decision.
Sure. Thank you.
Sarah again, I think I was up next. Online coaching and memberships, something I've probably been a bit lackluster on following up. Where does that side of it sit? So they're going and doing, like, obviously we're prescribing, not taking physical sessions, but they're going and doing their own, obviously. But I could probably say half of my athletes may not be members.
Oh, for some reason I was muted. Sorry. But half are, yeah?
I would say, without me going and checking, yeah.
So online coaching is load management, right? So coaching has many different forms these days. Be comfortable that, if you're using, Training Peaks, Final Surge, whatever you're choosing to use, that is a very reasonable mode of coaching and communication with athletes.
Yeah, from an insurance point of view.
Yep, fine.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
The coach, but obviously not the member or the non-member. They're obviously not covered.
Yeah.
So sorry, say that again.
So you're covered. Your professional indemnity, you're completely fine. But they're not a member, so they don't have any public liability insurance.
Yeah, so if they go out and something happens to them, then they're on their own essentially. Yeah.
Yes, you're
Unless they have
protected.
their own whatever.
You're protected.
Gotcha.
So long as you haven't, prescribed something that's grossly professionally negligent. But you're protected by your coach's insurance. That's fine.
Great. Thanks.
Jesse, this is Leighton again. It sounds like it would be good practice for a club of our size to obviously start trying to develop coaches from within the club, at least at a foundational level. And I'm sure there's a cost associated with the foundation course. Is that right?
Yeah.
I haven't actually come across the costing at all. Could you give me a ballpark of what it is? And is there any funding available from any of the state triathlon organisations to sort of help us with that?
Possibly. I can't. So to ballpark it, the foundation course is 295 plus GST, and the development course is 695 plus GST. Speak to your state and territory triathlon lead about any local funding opportunities. Where? So you New South Wales, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So chat to Adam, or either chat to Adam or Robin Lohart. Robin Lohart's the coach development lead for New South Wales.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it's a much lower cost than I thought it would be. I was expecting the 1,000, so it's perhaps not such an issue. But yes, any funding would be greatly appreciated if we're tapping people on the shoulder and trying to get them to become official.
Oh, Adam's online now. Good stuff, Adam. Thanks, mate. Darren.
Hi, Jesse.
Oh, sorry. Did you see in the chat? Sorry, Darren, before you go. Adam's comment was it's currently free in New South Wales for females, thanks to the Her Sport, Her Way program. Yeah, and that's the same in Victoria. If we get funding, we'll often try and apply it to things like that. So, sorry, Darren.
No, all right, Mary. Hi, Jesse.
Actually, can I just make a big shout out on that? So Triathlon New South Wales have taken, at the foundation level, they've taken their female coach percentage in 3 or 4 years from 41% to 53%. So they're leading the country. So big congratulations to Triathlon New South Wales and Adam and Robin and the team for just all of their amazing hard work on that. Back to the question.
Hi, Jesse. Good evening. I'm just coming from a point of view that the coaching, the insurance, all that is definitely a minefield. I work in a charity that's membership based, that we've got a membership based cover. So when we ever have an issue with a claim, we look at it from the perspective of that limitation. So that level through the insurance has got limitations in the policy. I know it's a minefield, Jesse, but I think everybody needs to look at that first. Look at your limitations that the insurance policy is stating on the policy of that, and that will give perspective of a coach's level of due diligence in that scenario, what is determined in there, that policy, and if there's any questions that is driven from that, is there a possibility of developing a coaching group within Triathlon Australia that they could pop it up on there, and it could be a case-by-case study that this situation, I've got exactly what's being discussed tonight, and you develop them answers within that coaching fraternity within Triathlon Australia.
Sure.
So I think, so it allows us to go, because I remember talking about this about 10 years ago, and it got to the point where the grapevine was saying, well, if insurance asks you for where you're training for an event, you've got to show your entry fee for that event. That's crap. That's crap. You know what I mean? Insurances don't go that deep sort of stuff. That's just noise, white noise off people in there. And that's where it gets lost in translation sometimes. So a lot of it comes down to due diligence. You've done your due diligence, as you said, Jesse, safe ride, lights on the bike, if you're coaching a session, and that's the stuff that everybody has to do on that due diligence sort of thing. and they're covering themselves side of the fence. Yeah, but
I think
if we can get a conversation going in a group chat, I think that's going to help a lot of people.
We can definitely mock up some because there's common scenarios, right? There's common avatar situations, so we can develop them. But what we'll do in our clubs in our sort of regular EDM that goes out to club presidents, then our next one, what we can do is we can put in things like the summary of cover fact sheet for coaches and that kind of thing. Everybody, I would encourage everybody to read that.
And the other one, and again, guys, it can get anal retentive on this. It's the code, not the code of conduct, constitution. What are the club's constitutions in there? So that's the other side of the fence. That is, one of the gentlemen said, no member, no ride if it's coaching. That to a certain extent has to be in the constitution. If that's in your club constitution, that allows you to, if there's any legal liability, anything like that, that's covered in the constitution, that it's public. It's information to the members, that's public, sort of thing. And it gets layered, but that is the cover that members, club committees can do to protect their coaches themselves, and with that liability level layer there, Jesse.
Thanks, Darren.
You're right.
I'll probably disagree that it's in the constitution. Might be in the standard operating a bit lower, but it's very hard to keep changing the constitution. I don't think it's a constitutional issue, my opinion.
Has every club got a constitution?
So if you're an incorporated entity, you have to. Right. So there are some state and territories where you don't need to be incorporated to be an affiliated entity. To be affiliated, then you'd be a squad. But if you're an incorporated entity, you'd have a constitution.
Okay. Again, guys, there's always that little bit of learning, but if it's in writing, it helps that layer of there. It's protecting everybody within the club side of it, for liability side of it.
Any other questions? Adam's got one.
No.
Oh. Well, if there's no further questions, I might thank everybody for their attendance and for all of their questions, and for coming today or this evening and giving up your time. And as Murray said at the start, this has been recorded, and so we will be uploading this to the Coach Connect YouTube channel, and then that will then be sent out to all of our clubs. And it's also going to go to coaches as well, so that information is shared with them as well. So thank you everybody for coming, and it was great to see everyone's faces, and I hope to see everybody at the races whenever I'm in your state or territory.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, Murray.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jesse, presenting.
No worries. See you all.
Thank you.